Gotta be something here. You know what I mean?
So what's these signs say? Office decorations, the Stanley Parable reinsurance bucket, the button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. I feel like we did.
Decorations?
Yeah, let's go to that one. No screenshots?
Oh yeah, that was the balloon.
Was it?
Wait.
I have no idea. And this is the infinite hole that's now the door's closed.
This is the infinite hole?
Yeah, but the door's closed now. See?
Wow.
Those are just lights.
Okay, well, there's gotta be a way to get out of here. It's explaining the fucking hole. It's hilarious. Like, okay,
Get it in here. So what?
free trophy. Let's do that.
Let's just do this again. Because I
Yeah,
flicked
maybe
the switch
it fixed.
and
Maybe because I got the bucket.
yeah,
it
maybe.
just worked.
Or what's this button over here? Is that those red lights buttons?
Oh. This goes far down. No, it doesn't. Okay, come on.
The trophy's gotta work. No, it's not. You have a bucket now, though.
I know. You think a bucket
Would change
would work.
everything. Yeah.
Okay, well this is. Oh, I hate this. Okay. Maybe it's not plugged in. Let's see if there's like a plug or like. Oh. Looks plugged in. It looks like it's plugged into itself, but okay. Yeah, that's not a good room.
No, that's a dead end for sure.
There's gotta be something. They're not just gonna do all this for like. I mean, they would do it for nothing, but they at least bring me back to the beginning. I don't know, bro.
At exit, there's a sign that points exit, but that really doesn't mean anything.
Where?
Right straight ahead. See?
Oh my god.
Above the doorway, it says exit.
Oh my god. This must be the exit.
Yes.
Okay, wait, let me just see all the rooms. This map.
Jump
trophy,
circle.
That says the name. Settings world champion.
That door was blocked. Like it was.
Yeah. Epilogue, collectibles, infinite hold. So there's an epilogue too. And it's a weird dot thing. I know, right? It's so trippy.
It is trippy. I just. Where.
It's gotta be in the setting world champion room, which would be number signs for some reason. Where's number sign? I didn't see that, bro.
The number sign's next to the N.
Oh, I see it. Okay. And then the N would be. Okay, where's the collectibles? K. K there. There's only one collectible in this room and we got it, so let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Exit. We got our bucket now.
Oh yeah, we got our bucket.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
Why?
Ready to move on now?
Then
Yeah.
what? Okay. That gives me anxiety. Don't do that. Whoa.
Whoa. That's a trippy picture.
Yeah.
Are you going to use the door on the
screenshots,
left or on the right? It doesn't matter.
Okay, my girl's in the way. 1 sec.
Yeah.
Bring back there. Okay, sounds good. Okay, bud. Like any minute, bud. Okay.
So,
Ooh,
Stanley,
ferns.
what do you think? Do you like all of the
Oh,
new
no,
features?
ferns.
Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as
What
one
is
single
that?
coherent video game, but
So the
I can
exit
feel
was
it
the
in my
good
soul.
choice.
It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
I don't know if that would ever come together.
Are you ready?
What?
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of...
Shall I
Okay,
get
never
him?
mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement.
It's everything you just tried out in
Yes,
one.
yes,
In
this
one
is
little
much
room?
Better.
Yeah.
I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Oh.
What the
Who am I
hell?
kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted
No,
more
that
than
was-
anything
that was
to
weird,
create
bud.
a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they
It's
wouldn't
gonna be the
stand on
first
their
room you
own.
start in.
They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with
This is
bold and
fucked.
uncompromising conviction, this is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh, what is it?
Okay, let's see. Stanley Parable 2. Okay, give me a second. Let me take a picture. Actually has settings and credits and get the fuck out of here. This game makes fun of like the industry
Everything.
and like, itself, and like I think it's just amazing.
It's like, it's kind of like the best experience you could have from developer to player.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like a developer to player relationship builder.
and it breaks that fourth wall so nicely.
That's what I'm seeing as like this. It's like never. It's I don't know. There's so much to say about it, but it's
Yeah.
like so far, Trevor, nothing's fucking happened, but so
No.
much has happened at the same time.
Yeah, like I don't feel it progressed in any way.
Look, it's loading faster. Oh no, it's not. It's, yeah, I don't. I think that was all that was though, just the loadings. I don't want to say because you never know. There's probably more.
Yeah. Imagine we're back in the office.
This
Oh,
is
don't
the
press
story
X.
of a man
Don't
named
press X.
Stanley.
No, I'm not.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building.
Oh, look,
where
the
he was
balloons.
employee number 427.
Ah!
The balloons to get well soon.
427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, of every month, of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment.
So
that
part
they
2
pushed
is
him,
just the second game.
though he had been made exactly for this job.
I mean, part 2 is the first game again. That's what they just.
And Stanley was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would
It's
never
part
quite
2.
forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions.
The balloons were
call a
definitely
meeting,
not there
or even
before.
say hi.
No, it's even. It just said the Stanley Parable 2.
And this
Yeah.
happened. This complete isolation.
That's crazy.
Something was very clearly wrong.
So this is
Shocked,
probably where the new
frozen
stuff
solid,
is gonna come
Stanley
in with
found
the old
himself
stuff.
unable to move
Yeah,
for the
I guess.
longest time.
But as
That's
he
what
came
my
to his
guess
wits
is.
and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh my god, bro. Okay. I can't jump though.
So we want to go to the boss's office. No, there's got to be a circle for that. Is
All
there a
of his
jump
co-workers
circle?
were gone.
True.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
No coworkers. Means fun.
Get well someday.
Stanley's a sick fuck. Oh. Oh my god.
Stanley picked up.
Oh, thank you.
Stanley
I feel
picked
so
up
bad.
the
So
bucket.
much better.
They're getting it.
This bucket makes me feel so
Stanley
much better.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
The door on his left. Oh, you're going to the door on the right or the left? We got to go to the boss's office.
I think
We
it's
have
left.
to.
Who knows?
We haven't done that yet.
We have to, yeah.
Oh,
Especially
I
with our
have.
new bucket.
Yeah, the boss will be pleased.
Like, look, sir, I found this bucket.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
I
Perhaps
do.
his boss's office
It's like
was
he
where
knows
the
what I'm
bucket
thinking.
was.
Oh, goodness.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
Let's
office.
go to the boss.
Yeah, because downstairs seems like that loop-de-loop thing.
Yeah, fuck that. Maybe I can go down there with my insurance bucket.
No, it's okay. Let's go see the boss.
It's okay.
Oh, what's that say? Executive bathroom.
Oh my god,
Oh,
we
whoa,
have to go
what?
in.
This is
We have
amazing.
to-
Fill your bucket
We
with
have to
water.
use...
Oh, there's a collectible! Behind you
Where?
on the toilet.
Oh!
Found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
There's no
Mind that
reward.
sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I will.
Yeah, that we shall. What's this say on the wall?
One sec, I had my earbuds in the wrong sides.
I've got the
I've
feeling.
got the feeling. Money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's lovely purse. Lovely purse.
What?
Extreme bathrooms. You need to take a picture of that.
Yeah,
Aw.
we're gonna do that. Okay.
Do you want to? Okay, we're gonna stand here with this bucket.
He's telling you the numbers. for
Standing here with the
keypad.
bucket.
And here we sat with the bucket.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And
Oh my
Stanley got
God.
the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I'm holding a reassurance bucket. Look.
Oh, yeah.
Look at
Oh,
this.
it's this one.
Oh shit, the lights just went off, Trevor. He's letting me play with him. What happened?
Okay, so you know how they were doing the
Yeah, it's tricky, bro.
you know how you're just standing there, and he's like, he had to put
Yeah.
in the combination of 2845 into the keypad to get the door activated, and then after a while, he just said the emergency systems kicked in, and the door just opened anyway. So Stanley can continue on with the story.
No
So
way.
if you turn left,
Okay,
there
he's here,
should
he's here.
be oh god.
True. Okay, we'll finish this fucking peruse thing here, charade of what the fuck this is,
Yeah,
and then we'll call it, bud.
yeah, man.
But a lot of shit happened. Okay, I'm gonna go through this door.
ride.
Yeah, it is. It is a fucking ride. I might buy this game, honestly.
It was like $30 or something.
Yeah, just to support it. And the kids like really liked it too. They're like, "Will you have the game?" I'm like, "No, we're like share playing it." He's like, "Oh."
Like,
I was like, "Yeah." It's like so I can play it as long as he lets me. And he's like, "Oh." Nah, okay. Loading.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
For the bucket.
Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty,
So,
he would be all right. The bucket
this-
is here for you, Stanley. Everything
Part
will be
2
fine.
is the collection, then? Like you collect those figurines only in the part 2?
I guess.
Like how long is this part 2? Like
Yeah.
is this like I
the
don't
game
even know.
now? Is this the game?
Yeah, is this the game now? That's what I'm thinking. Like
Because
Yeah,
like
just
this game
finishing
came
rolling
out
the
in
joint.
2013, so obviously like it's fun for these players that first played the game to come back and revisit.
yeah.
But I guess they also need to like add new features to keep it relative, and I guess
Of
they're
course.
just making fun of the necessity of having to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure when they got funded to like do the re-release, they're like, okay, so what are you gonna add to it? You're like, yeah, you want us to add something?
We'll show you.
We think the game's perfect the way it is, but we'll add a bucket.
What if you get a reassurance bucket?
Yeah, a reassurance bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead
What
through the large
the
door
fuck?
that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay, so I went
Escape.
through the escape before, but I never went to
Oh,
the
you've
mind
been
control.
here?
I've been to this point in the game after the
So
boss's
you went
office.
to the escape.
So I went to the escape, but I didn't do the mind control facility.
Really? You have
Yeah.
to blink, breathe, and pee, and it's a game? What? Did you hear that, Trevor?
What did he say?
Okay, Bentley's like, there's this game where you have to blink, breathe, and pee, but you have to do it all manually.
What?
I'm so serious.
You're gonna die.
Like, bro, imagine it's like your eyes get all, you're like, oh my eyes, I need to blink. It's like,
Don't forget to breathe now, boy.
okay, I gotta light this joint first. I'm gonna smoke this joint.
And then you gotta pee?
While you're playing the game, I guess. So like eventually you gotta pee. And then like I guess you gotta blink and breathe like a lot.
The lights rose, and
That would be so funny though.
A lot.
What horrible
Like I would
this
imagine.
Stanley and the bucket both thought to themselves.
It's like you're running and you have to start breathing a little heavier, but like you gotta hold the breathe button. It's like fuck. Okay, what just happened?
I don't know, but there's a button in front of you. You can press it if you want.
Oh, I pressed it already.
Okay.
I raised this. I thought I got my bucket.
Yeah, this looks like the room with all the screens where they say you're fired or something. But we're down below now. We're not up above.
Oh yeah.
There's another button.
Exactly.
The monitors jumped off, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped.
monitored like
See if you
guinea
can look at
pigs.
the balcony.
The bucket
that I used
had
to
never
look
seen
at.
anything like
You know,
this,
if you look
and
up.
it very nearly
There it
burst
is.
into tears as Stanley
Really?
prayed
Oh my god, it is!
Yeah.
reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Look, it still says fired too. That's crazy.
Okay,
Minutes.
so do you press the
I'm
button
gonna help you in
again?
like 10 minutes. Want this joint? Yeah, 1 second.
Oh wait, the bridge is there now.
Oh yes, that branch. So is this how many possibilities there would be?
Is that? If that is, that's insane. And imagine
I'm
if it
guessing.
shows up you're fired for every ending you got, to eventually you'd
Oh
want
my
them all to say you're
god,
fired.
that would be sick. I'm trying to see if I can see a you're fired.
I
And,
see ones with red lines on them.
oh.
Like
Let's
instead of
just
a
look at the
picture of an
closest
office,
one.
instead of looking
Now
at a
that we can
picture of
see
an
it.
office, there's ones where it's like red letters, like on a black screen.
So yo,
What's that one up there? That one that's not moving. Is that the one you're presently on then?
which one?
If you look straight up, okay, and then see where it says 250? Look at the one on the left. 250 and then the one, and now look at the one left of the
Oh,
250.
yeah.
And it's going to change again. Why is that screen all messed up? Do you see it?
Weird, yeah I do.
Yeah.
I wish I could see what it says. Let's find another blue one and see what it says. Maybe there's one close. No, there's
Oh,
so
there's
far.
that one says fired. There's two that say fired on them.
Okay. Yeah, but I think these are just different every room in the game. I don't think it was an ending.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds
bucket.
of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Okay.
Here's the elevator.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust
Don't let me
no
go,
one
Mr. Bucket.
except for the bucket.
What is going on?
Bro, we have a bucket that we're holding because it makes us feel better. And we're playing a game. I don't know anymore. I don't even...
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls
Whoa.
labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
What?
Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment
They
about
high-fived
taking
in a
down
really
the
cool way.
system.
The bucket made a sassy comment.
They high-fived and really cool.
Because that would be...
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love this. 5.
Oh, what's this? Mind control idle awaiting input.
Uh-oh. Okay, you need to take a picture of it.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
Alright.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place.
We gotta
and to
power this off.
everything it stood for.
Or should we power it on? And get really
I don't
still
know.
and watch it.
It's up to you, man. The choice is yours.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley
I turned on
gasped
it.
in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take
I
over
did
the
it, though.
machine and claim the power for itself?
I chose
Bucket
it.
betrayed him like this. Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds.
What the fuck is going on?
Silly birds. Silly, silly birds.
What? Oh, you could change through the different
Stanley
birds.
flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling
Oh,
silly
wow.
birds.
It's Britannia Beach.
Only a facade to disguise
Yeah, that's
its true
Britannia
intent.
Beach for sure.
At the bucket then is all wrong.
Oh,
Stanley
my
marked with a
penguins.
metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through life.
I was wondering if it was telling you like the region of the bird and shit over there, but it wasn't.
Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was short the best.
Silly bird.
And Stanley was happy.
I'm happy. I'm watching fucking birds. This game, bro. Holding a bucket, watching silly birds. With my boy Trevor.
Silly birds!
Like,
Yo, this is amazing. Like, I was not expecting this at all. And that's
bro, if
the...
we're ever bored ever again, we could just play this game, bro.
Yo, because... Like, which way are we gonna go now?
Okay, should we end it here? Like, I don't
think
know.
we should. I think we should. I think this is an awesome way to end it here. Because who knows how long the next shenanigans is going to take us. Maybe good, like 15 minutes, 20
Oh,
minutes.
I guess he did say hi.
But never,
I said,
got
we gotta
to
go
play.
say hi to Jeff before we go inside.
Oh, yeah.
I go, you pull over right by him. Oh, boy, yeah.
He's been chugging water like a...
I need some, I need some dog biscuits.
Speaking about dogs, did I tell you I got a golden doodle now? I got a Pomeranian and a poodle, for fuck's sake.
That ox out.
Alright, there you go. It's 4:20 a.m. Spark her up. You're playing the Stanley Parable with my good old friend Devin.
Yeah, I got some family here too. Got some fam here too.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 4:20 a.m. Your favorite time of day. How did the game know that though? The Stanley Parable game, man. It like gets underneath your skin and like finds out shit you didn't want to find out about it. And I just set the time as 4:20 a.m. so I was like, fuck it, let's do it. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 4:20 a.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 4:20 a.m.? You know, I could just say, regardless of your accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all of the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. It should be ready for the next time you boot up the game.
He's gone.
So you played the Stanley Parable, but have you played the Stanley Parable 2?
You just stop in and say hi, Jeff.
I need a Bible.
See? Told ya.
Have you seen this, Devin?
Hello, Mark.
Oh, I don't know where I'm going.
Have you seen this yet? The Stanley Parable 2? So we beat the first one apparently, and we're on to the second one. We may have lost Devin already. Please bear with us.
Nope, back.
And he's back.
What the hell?
Have you ever seen this yet?
Apparently not.
Yeah, so apparently we went through the doors that led us to not just the Stanley Parable 1, but now the Stanley Parable 2. So
I didn't get this far.
You didn't?
Apparently not.
Okay, so give me a second. So far, I've gone through the doors, Devin. Tony's gone through the doors. Jesse's gone through the doors. And now it's your turn to go through the door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's see where you end up, Devin. Will you listen to the narrating voice? Or will you defy his order? We'll find out here in part 4, I want to say. This could be part 4, I think.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Or was he?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Imagine
all
though,
of his co-workers were gone.
all your
What
co-workers
could
are
it mean?
gone.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, shit.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This is the ultimate decision, Devin. It's a 50-50. What one will you pick? Let's see if you can go back.
Try
He
to go
said-
back, but I can't.
He said he went to the door on the left.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yeah, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh. Took the first open door on his left, he said. Up to you.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Oh.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
She's
God
been
damn
waiting. Oh, what's this?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in
No.
another, then pick up the phone.
Huh? You picked it up. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's been a ride though. This game. Don't know what to expect every time.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Oh, ho, ho.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
I don't like this anymore.
He traps you and he messes with you, dude.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Oh, what? Good morning, employee 427. Press circle on your...
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Like, you're just like,
Look at him
fuck
there,
you.
pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Except he's chosen.
But in
this
his
life.
mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Oh.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Like, what
So
the fuck
he
is
went
that?
further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Like, it
It
just
was
gets
such
weird.
a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
One more time.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
And the game makes fun of like you playing it. It makes fun of like itself as a game.
I want him to, but I don't make the rules.
It breaks the fourth wall so
nicely. My
nicely.
intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Die.
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Oh god, and I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. Oh, dude, the shit we've seen, like, and it takes you places, like, you're not just in this office building in this game. Oh, man. I don't want to spoil anything for you.
I've gone
and
pretty far.
All of his co-workers
Yeah.
were gone.
Balloons
What could
were
it
never
mean?
here.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Yeah.
Perhaps he had
Oh,
simply missed a memo.
so that part was like, they gave you a choice. There's like a cardboard cutout of this guy, and it said, we're gonna try to make the Stanley Parable
When
too
Stanley came to a
different
set of
and like
two
more
open doors,
exciting.
he entered
Which
the
one
door
of
on his
these
left.
two balloons do you think would be better to put in the game? And one was like a white balloon, and the other one was a blue balloon. And then it changed up. Go look at that thing for a sec. How we can find them. Oh, that was the collectible. What we know, small floating objects have appeared across the office. We have synchronized our resources to ensure their retrieval. There are many questions. Okay. Those are the collectibles. So throughout our journeys, we gotta find them. I think we found one or two so far. But yeah, so far it's been trippy, man. It's been interesting. That changed. That wasn't the same thing as it was before. The first time it said something different. But anyway, you pick the balloon. And then they go, oh, you went with that balloon? No,
Coming to a
you should
staircase,
have the,
Stanley
we should go
walked
with this
upstairs
balloon
to his
instead.
boss's office.
And they used this different balloon that other than the one you picked. And then when you look at the office, everything's
But Stanley
the same.
just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Whoa.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
See? Like, you can't expect that. That's trippy as...
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Are you ready now?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Accurate.
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Alright then.
And, I guess we're back in the office again. It's funny because it's like, I don't know, man, it's a trip. And you try to remember the paths that you take, and then you don't take them again, right? You try to, like, take different routes or
All
try
of his
different
co-workers
things.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps he simply missed a memo.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, the door on the left this time. Let's see where you go now, Devin.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Ha! He couldn't possibly
Yet
have
incredibly,
known it.
by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
It gets like borderline eerie. Like it goes from being like comical, playful, fun. Oh, you gotta.
Another miniature Stanley figurine.
Yes.
This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
That's half of them. 3 out of 6. Oh, that's where it gets creepy almost. Like, just the environment, the setting, and like you just don't know where the fuck this game's taking you next. It's like unsettling.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh shit. You ready to face
The
your
door
violent
behind
death?
him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
It's like he's trying to convince you to listen to him, right? Oh, where are you gonna end up? Oh, snap.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Oh no.
Stanley.
Are you ready, Devin? Oh, what was that?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated, as the machine crushed every bone in his body,
Oh,
killing
shit.
him instantly.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, this part I don't think I've seen.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he
Oh,
hit
this
start?
room's tripped out. Look at how white it is, man. It looks like the iPhone store, like the Mac store.
Yo, yeah.
You know? This is like the old vintage Apple computer. So yeah, that's the actual layout of the first like office, like where you first start. That's the layout right there, and that's the, apparently if you read the signs it'll say that's the first level design that they ever started with. And then they built the game from there, but yeah, the two doors. The two doors that could lead you anywhere. Oh, snap. Got some credits there. Oh, is that a chest? Straight ahead. Oh, wait, never mind.
I wasn't sure what that was.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
this place is a maze, dude. Oh, what's over there? Warzone. What?
Oh, I was just reading this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's like the way they do the level design with the mazes and stuff, it just makes it so trippy. Oh,
Oh, look at these two. How
This
they wish to
Stanley
destroy one
Parable.
another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
on or off, Devin?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Oh.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn
You
off
gotta
your
do it, Devin.
PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
Oh!
Move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Oh, that's dead. Wonder if you actually turn off your PlayStation, but I don't think that would actually
I was
do it.
almost going to.
I've gotten that ending before too. I'm kind of letting you, like, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm kind of letting you like go through
I've
it. you
not
know?
seen that one.
That tripped me out too, and especially when the girl starts talking, it's like, well, who the hell are you?
Ugh. I can only do so much in this game before my head's like, oh my god, what?
Oh yeah, definitely, eh?
Holy hell.
But that's the Stanley Parable too, right there.
Yeah. Frickin'.
The sequel is now paused.